know that I want you, I say that I don't want myself. After you do hell, just know me.
Welcome back, guys. This is Tea Time with the Twins, episode 9. I'm your host, Maggie Pilarski.
And I'm Anna Pilarski.
And today we are joined by a very special guest, Rochelle Brown.
Also known as Rochelle Heasley on her socials.
Yes. All right, Rochelle, say hi.
Hi, I am Rochelle Brown. Yes, Rochelle Heasley on socials. It's different because one's my maiden name, one is my married name. But I'm a content creator located in South Carolina. I know the girls because they know my husband. So I'm super excited.
Yay, we're so excited to have you. We did not do this last time, but we have our teas today. Cheers.
Cheers, Rochelle.
Cheers, Rochelle.
I got the tea, both types. So
What are you drinking today?
I got a pomegranate green tea. I needed something with a little bit of caffeine in it because we're about to get hyped.
We don't know how long we're going to be recording.
Yeah, this might be a couple hours. I am drinking double lemon ginger. It's really good for digestion, and you know I need it.
I am also drinking, I have one lemon ginger in here, and then I have raspberry leaf tea because it's day 2, if you know what I mean. We can just get things rolling. This is kind of a get to know Rochelle podcast and what she does, but she's gotten into her own health and wellness journey. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, as well as her content creation and what she does to spread her life to the world.
So, Rochelle, you can just go ahead and, I mean, you kind of already introduced yourself, but just introduce yourself a little deeper. Just talk about what you do, your fitness journey, and then you can also name your socials so people can follow you.
Well, where do I even begin? We can go way back. Okay, well, I already introduced myself. My name is Rochelle. I live in the suburbs of Charlotte, just over the border in South Carolina. I currently work at an infrared sauna and red light therapy spa. I am also a content creator, still growing. My TikTok is Rochelle Heasley. I think I have like 85,000 followers on there. And then I have my Instagram is Rochelle Heasley, Facebook Rochelle Heasley, YouTube Rochelle Heasley. So pretty much you can type in Rochelle Heasley and you will find me on every platform.
She got married, but that's not affecting her content creation.
I do have Brown on there as well, but yeah, Rochelle Heasley is my maiden name, so I stuck with that one.
Love that. Thanks for coming on. And the main reason we brought her on, which Anna kind of mentioned, was like to talk about her wellness journey and social media presence. So can you just kind of go into like how or why you first started getting into wellness and like when there was that turning point of, okay, like I need to get my health back on track, all that good stuff?
Yeah, actually my health and wellness and my social media kind of go hand in hand. So I will talk about where I really started back when I was 14. So a long time ago. I'm 26 now. If you've heard of Blogilates on Instagram, she was the starter of it all. My family is also extremely just healthy growing up, like very like whole foods, don't eat that, take your vitamins, like just very also non-toxic just in general. So then I was like, okay, like I want to start working out. So I started doing like Blogilates, which is like Pilates, just at home. And then I wanted to go to the gym. So we had a local gym. So I got a membership there. Then I worked out there for a while. And one of the things that like Blogilates told me was like, start an Instagram for your like journey. So I was like, okay. So I started one when I was 14, just posting the most random stuff. Back in 2014, you don't even know what you were posting. Then I started working at the gym. And that's when I like, kind of, I guess it really started because just like working out, like, you know, people are motivating you, you know, you want to, I don't know, you're
Just be better. It's just like the environment you're around.
Exactly. Which was good. It was good and bad because I definitely think it put me in a right path of like wanting to like, you know, work out and stuff, but then also put you in a path of like, oh, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you should eat this, you shouldn't eat this, or it's like a little bit too much in your brain where you kind of like You know what I mean? I still had my fitness Instagram, so I was still like posting on that. I kind of grew it. I think I was like almost at 10,000 followers on it, which back then was like a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I had the big mindset change, and I was just like, I need to get off of social media. I was looking at myself badly. I was looking at just like my life just not good. So I was like, you know what? I need a break. I was even in college at the time, and I did a speech on like taking a break from social media, because it was just like, it's a toxic place.
It
for
is.
sure. It can be if you don't use it wisely. And then when I tried to log back into my socials, I lost my socials. So then I feel like I also kind of lost myself in like, not like it was my identity, but it was just like, okay, well, if I don't have anywhere to like post, then like nobody even knows. And so then like COVID happened, I gained a bunch of weight, I wasn't working out. So a little bit of a yo-yo for me, like up, down, up, down. And then 2021, I'm like, okay, I'm going to lose that COVID weight. I'm going to be full in again. I had started like a new fitness Instagram. Wasn't really growing because it was a little bit harder to grow then. And I was doing great. I kind of got back in the mindset of like, oh, who cares, you know? And then I moved to Florida, switched jobs, a lot of change, got married. So a lot happened within, you know, just shorter period of time. So I went through a little funk for 9 months. I had no job. I was moving states, just got married. You're off that like pre-marriage like high. You're like, okay, back to reality. And I got like super depressed and kind of just like sad, like new state, new job. Like I was searching for a job. I did have a job for a little bit that was like horrible. The manager and owner was terrible, so I like quit that. So I was definitely in a funk, gained tons of weight, and then I found my current job, and that is when I feel like everything changed. I love my job now. So I started working at an infrared sauna and red light therapy spa, and being surrounded by people that were not just into working out and work like themselves. They were coming in because they wanted to better their internal health. And that's where the switch was from working at like a gym and working at like a health and wellness place. Gym, they very much like conceited about themselves, the way they look, where the sauna and red light spot, like they want to better themselves internally. It's just like a totally different mindset. So surrounding yourself by people that like live that life is a complete game changer. But I definitely in the past had kind of the all or nothing mindset, where now I feel like I've changed to just baby steps. So when I started working there, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do the infrared sauna, which if you don't know what infrared sauna is, it's like, I can go into all the benefits of it, but I won't. But it's just really good for your internal health, and it helps you detox, boost your metabolism, boost immunity, helps stress relief, so a bunch of benefits. I started doing that, and then I was like, you know, I'm going to start walking here and there, and then I'm going to just make better choices, and then I kind of cut back on alcohol. And then I was like, okay, now I'm going to join the gym. And like, I just did everything in baby steps of like within a few months to make a dramatic change overall. I think I lost like 20 pounds, but it was like, I was trying, but I wasn't trying.
Yeah.
I was just changing my lifestyle to not only mentally feel better, like I wanted to physically feel better as well. Just overall, just in general, just feel better about myself. But it was definitely like wasn't an all or nothing. It was like gradually, and that's where like the shift changed, where I don't feel like I would go back into my old ways.
I think that's also super important, because especially like if you have something big going on in your life, like you mentioned, like moving states, getting married, that happens to me as well. Like whenever something big in my life happens, I definitely fall off the track and I like stop working out. And it's not necessarily like I'm eating super bad, but like I for sure stop going to the gym, and it like takes me a while to get back in.
Like even when we moved to Virginia,
I couldn't work out.
could not work out. I could physically, mentally, emotionally could not bring myself to go to the gym. And it was crazy because like not that my whole identity was in the gym, but literally I lost my identity because it was like going to the gym was such a good mental boost for me. And so when I wasn't going, we didn't go for like over a month, I was like, I don't even know who I am right now. It was really
But
weird.
I was also going to say, like, I think it's super important. I like how you did the baby steps, because I feel like if you go on all in, right off the bat, you burn out so quickly. So like after a couple months, you're like, okay, this is way too much to handle. And then you go back to your old bad habits and everything. So I don't know. I think that's super important that you.
Definitely like what had happened.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to do it a different approach this time.
Yeah. And that's just like
Smart.
super important to do it that way. So when you kind of first started getting back into wellness and fitness, were there any like wellness trends or like any voices that kind of inspired you, or like you really like focused on listening to certain people that helped you go on your journey of wellness?
Actually, no. Because in the past, I looked at all the fitness influencers, watched them, wanted to do what they were doing to follow them, where I felt like that maybe like hurt me in the past. So this time around, I actually did not follow any fitness influencers because I just wanted to do everything at my own pace and not compare, just because I've done that before. So I did things complete different. Because when I had my fitness Instagram, I was following everyone. You know, if they were a fitness influencer, I was probably following them. So not having that this time around, where I was comparing my life, what I was eating, what I was doing, gym, like all of that aspect, I think was totally helped because I was just on my own pace.
I love that.
I love that. That just goes back to show you that Instagram can be toxic in that sense to yourself, because there's so much comparison. And I know for me personally, Maggie's dying of laughter, guys, because I messed up a word, so I had to use a new word. But we cut it out. But yeah, like even now, sometimes I find myself, because I do follow a bunch of fitness influencers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing everything that they're doing, and I don't look the way that they look, or like they eat so much more than me, and obviously it's healthy food, but they eat so much more than me, and I'm
they have a
less,
six-pack,
and they have a
and
six-pack,
I don't.
and I don't, and it's
Weird.
just you just can't do that, because it gets messy, and then that gets in your head, and you just need to focus on yourself, because everybody's body is different and it works different and functions different. So you just need to, I love how you said everything, because you just need to focus on yourself, take the baby steps, figure out what works for you and what doesn't, and just go from there.
It's definitely a mindset thing. If you're like, you're clear that like you can follow people like that, that's great. But if you definitely know your mindset and you can't, then you just can't.
When you first had that breakthrough, when everything kind of clicked, what was the hardest part about getting started?
The hardest part about getting started, honestly, was like mentally just telling yourself to start. So whether you start with like nutrition, or whether you start with being active, or mindset, however you want to start, you just have to put your mind to it and you have to start. I would say that was the biggest thing. So when I started, like, I just started with doing the sauna, you know, how many times I wanted to. And then I was like, okay, I got in a routine of that. Let me add the next thing. I'm going to just start walking. Like I was telling you earlier, it's just like the baby steps. So like, I would definitely say the hardest part was just like the mindset thing, because when I did start, I was in a huge funk and kept putting it off for months. And I was like, yeah, I'll start tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is now. So.
And I think also like the hardest part about it all is that throughout your entire journey, it's always going to be the mindset. Even now, every single morning when my alarm goes off to wake up for the gym, I'm like, no. And it's just that battle between your weak self and your strong self of choosing if you want to be better than you were the day before or not. And so it's just literally every single day, it's always about mentality.
I mean, something that I've noticed, like the cool thing about wellness and fitness is like it's ever evolving, and like even your own personal journey, like there's always going to be something new that you can do and something that like you can do better.
Well, like what you guys were saying earlier too, like your entire life there's going to be big changes. You're going to move, you're going to get new jobs. So like sticking with it and having the mindset of like, you know, you just want to be consistent, but you don't need to be like all like forced. Like if you're moving and you can't work out for a week, that's fine, but it doesn't mean you just stop altogether.
Okay, so like when you started your journey now compared to at the beginning,
Age 14.
has your definition of wellness ever changed, or has it been like pretty similar since the beginning?
I would say the wellness part, Not too much, because like I told you earlier, like my family was super like healthy, so like my mom always was like, take your vitamins, don't eat seed oils, don't do corn syrup, all that type of stuff. So it's like I already knew all that. So like implementing that young and then still going into like adult life, I already knew what's good for you and what's not good for you. Also, when you have like your cycle, like I knew what's good during your cycle and what's not good during your cycle. And like that aspect, I already kind of had the core just because of my mom. But I would say like maybe the fitness aspect, definitely different, because I feel like I was working out more so to look good than I was to feel good. Before I was like, some days I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go on the stair stepper for 1 hour because I know it's gonna burn a ton of calories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was literally dying. And I was doing it definitely like more just because I was like, I wanna burn calories, I wanna look good. Where now I'm like, okay, is this making me like feel good? Is it all just about calories? Like, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, I get what
definitely,
you're saying.
I'd say the fitness aspect of it changed, but the wellness, like I already had the core from a young age.
And I think that's so funny because growing up, Maggie and I were very into seed oils without knowing. Obviously,
Not on purpose.
not on purpose. And we also didn't know anything about our cycles. Like we were never taught that. And so we were just super unhealthy as kids. So kudos to your mother for teaching you all those things, because I think that's super important. I think that we should have been taught specifically about our cycles from a very young age.
Like right when we started
Yeah.
blossoming
That's
into
like a
womanhood.
whole topic that we can go into about cycles, because oh my gosh, they're insane, and like what you should and shouldn't do, and like people don't know. Literally, females don't know anything because they're not taught.
Yeah, and that's like something when I first started my fitness journey, I didn't know anything about that, and I was kind of like you, where I was more like, I want to look good, and I did. However, I was not like working out and eating the right ways throughout my cycles, so like they were really bad. Like my
on the outside, our bodies
outside,
were super fit,
yeah.
like had good bodies, but on the inside, we were literally suffering.
Yeah, like I literally, my periods were 9 days long, and like PMS was insane. And now switcheroo, they're only 3 days, 4 days. I was just gonna say kudos to your mother for teaching you about your cycle and what to eat during each cycle, because no one teaches that. I just learned about
the
that
cycles
a
like
couple years ago.
yeah. So
shout out to your mom.
Yeah, no, I definitely give it to my mom, because she was always like, I mean, sometimes a bit much when you're younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why couldn't we drink soda when I was younger? Now I understand, oh my gosh, that is so bad for you. I get why
Poison.
she didn't want us to drink it. So little things like that when you're young, you're like, why? But now I'm like, okay, now I know soda's bad. Seed oils, you should take your supplements, why you should eat sourdough bread, and
Yes,
whole
we love
grains
sourdough.
and like all that type of stuff. When you're young, you're like, what the heck? Now I'm like, okay, now I understand. Thank you, Mom, for telling me.
and also just like in regards to fertility health at a young age, I never even thought about that. And now, like, granted, I'm not in a relationship or anywhere near to marriage and having kids, but it's like now I'm taking care of my hormone health so that when the time comes to have kids, like it'll hopefully be a healthy and easy thing for me. Like I said, like I'm not having kids right now, but like fertility is so important to me. So like I'm taking the right things to make sure that she's all good and healthy.
My mom always wanted us to take like, supplements for, your cycle. Every time we were on it, she's like, don't eat any sugar that feeds
love
it.
that.
And like, she was always telling us that type of stuff. Did I listen all the time?
Probably
No, but now I get why she said it.
When you experience burnout, how do you kind of like cope with that? Do you still kind of battle through that and try and stay consistent, or do you listen to your body and be like, clearly I need to kind of cut back on some stuff, slow down, reset the system? How does that work for you?
So I actually definitely am like kind of in a burnout right now, where I was walking a lot and doing the sauna and working out. And so I cut back a little bit, but before I would have been like so hard on myself. But this time I'm like, you know what? It's summertime. Like, I do want to live. I'm still going to make healthy choices. I will go to the gym. If it's less than I normally do, that's fine. I'm like, I'm still trying to like live my life. Where before, when I hit burnout, I would be so mad at myself. Oh my gosh, like I'm gonna gain so much weight and I'm gonna do this. And even back a few months ago, I kind of hit a burnout and I was like, I'm gaining all this weight. I stepped on the scale. Well, I got my in-body scan done. It was like, actually, you gained weight because I gained more muscle and lost more fat, which was like, I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, the scale's going up because I haven't been working out as much. But my body was just resting and actually like doing better for the muscle while I was growing. And yes, the scale changed, but that's another thing I like learned to like not look at the scale because the scale is so bad.
I know. I
Once I start
literally,
getting my in-body scans where I actually see how much fat and muscle, it makes a huge difference.
I kind of want to do one of those body scans because I would love to know.
All right, so we're coming to a close here, and I just want to ask, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is starting out on their health and fitness journey?
Don't think too much on it. Just start. Start with little baby steps. Go for a 10-minute walk. Just get yourself up and start. You can even find your favorite podcast to listen to. Maybe instead of ordering food for dinner, just cook at home. Literally, the most simple things. Do not overcomplicate it and just make small changes and gradually add on and just start.
I love it.